Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon here with your AEW Rampage, the first dance on Friday night, August 20th, 2021. And I think at the end of the night, we can officially say that every year going forward, August 20th, 2021 is going to be CM Punk Day. I mean, folks, CM Punk is all elite. The rumors are true. And I think with all the buzz today, CM Punk was trending all day on social media, trending number one tonight over SmackDown, while SmackDown was going on and trending in the top 10 all day. I mean, what a moment. I never grew up during the WCW days, the Monday Night Wars, all the Hulk Hogan joining the NWO. I never grew up doing any of that stuff. I'm a 13-year wrestling fan. I'm a die-hard, hardcore professional wrestling fan, as you guys know on the channel. But I'm being shred up, dead faced to you guys right now. Tonight, with CM Punk joining AEW, and what happened, him coming out, leaping into the crowd, probably the best AEW crowd ever. The promo, this was legit the greatest wrestling moment I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. And that's going to be something I never forget. And that's going to be something I want to go back and I want to watch 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when I potentially have children. I'm going to want to show my kids the moment CM Punk showed up at the United Center in Chicago and debuted on AEW Rampage. It's going to be a moment we look on for the rest of our lives. Mr. Johnson, I want to start with you, man. This was such an historic night. How are you feeling, dude? CM Punk is all elite. We'll go with Cameron and then we'll go with Wes.
I am on just a big adrenaline rush right now, man. This is a moment I have been waiting for 7 long years. And I spoke to you, when I spoke to you before we started recording, I said, even though I knew CM Punk was coming, even though I knew he was coming out, you still always have that little doubt. And, you always still have that little doubt in you. Like, is he really going to be, is he really going to be there? Is he really going to be there? Did we all hype this up expecting CM Punk and it's not CM Punk? Is this on us, man? Everybody's been saying Punk is Punk, everybody's been saying Punk's been on Twitter, Punk's been on Twitter and Instagram. He's been on social media trolling. Is he really coming out there? Is he really coming out there? And then the fucking music. I'm sorry to drop an F-bomb on your channel, Joe, but the fucking music hit, and it was just what the fuck. CM Punk came out doing absolutely. CM Punk came out. I loved it, man. I loved it, man. I loved it, man. I've been waiting for this moment for 7 years for him to come out. He came out, Code of Personality hit, and the place just went absolutely fucking nuts. I got goosebumps watching it. I still got goosebumps watching it. This is a moment. This is a moment that I will never ever forget watching. I will never forget watching wrestling. I will never forget watching wrestling. August 20th is CM Punk Day, and we gotta build Tony Khan a statue. Tony Khan deserves a statue somewhere. I don't know where we gonna put the statue, but we gotta build that man a statue. Put that man on Mount Rushmore. You know how we got the Lincoln Memorial? Give him his own memorial, damn it. Give him his own memorial, damn it. Please just build something for Tony Khan and give it to him, because the man deserves it. The man deserves it. He deserves all the flowers. He deserves all the flowers, all the petals at his feet. This was just absolutely incredible. CM Punk. Thank you, Punk. Now we got Brian next month.
Oh baby, I cannot wait. That, let me tell you, I before we get to West, I told I told someone this today, but the tides are changing. I think everybody knows that in professional wrestling. The tides are changing. AEW is going to be number one, and WWE is going to be number two. I don't care about money. I don't care about what money goes into Vince's or Bruce's pockets. Nick Khan, I don't care. I don't care about stockholders. I don't care about shares. Us as wrestling fans, we should not care about money. What we should care about is the product and the quality of the shows we're getting every single week, and the rosters, that who's getting pushed and who is becoming that next star in this generation of professional wrestling. On one side, we have aging legends challenging for world titles. We're seeing rematches every single week. I didn't watch SmackDown tonight, but every single match on that show tonight was a rematch from either 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or last week. Absolutely ridiculous. And you got just terrible shows. NXT is dead. The only good thing in that company is Roman Reigns. And yet here's the other company giving the fans what they want, appreciating the fans.
But I thought CM Punk wasn't a draw, Mr. Roman Reigns. I thought he wasn't a draw.
Roman Reigns, I love you, man, but you really think CM Punk's not a draw? You think CM Punk is not over? Roman Reigns would die for the reaction that CM Punk got tonight, man. He really would, and it's just really clear. What I'm trying to say with all of this, with talking about WWE side and AEW side, is AEW is going to be number one, and WWE is going to be number two. CM Punk is the burial for WWE. Daniel Bryan is just going to come in there, spice it all up. He's the nail in the coffin, and it's done. Once Daniel Bryan shows up on September 22nd, AEW is officially number one in the game. Now, Wesley, I'm going to give the floor to you for a couple minutes, so your time is now.
And I'm still feeling it, man. Literal chills still just running through my body, man. I mean, a moment in history, in professional wrestling history, that will never be forgotten. I'm going to be 80 years old, decrepit, probably in a nursing home somewhere, and I'm still going to look back at this moment. August 20th, 2021, United Center, Chicago, Illinois, sold-out crowd, 14,000 plus. The return of CM Punk. I mean, what a moment, man. I'm so happy that I've gotten to witness this moment. If only I could have been there in person, man. If only I lived around in the Chicago area, I would have loved so much to have been there in person. That probably would have topped it for me as the best pro wrestling moment in my own life. I mean, I've been watching this for 20 plus years. I've been watching this product since I was a little toddler, about 3 years old. I've been watching pro wrestling. I've been a fan of pro wrestling, man. And CM Punk is one of those individuals that has really made such an incredible impact on the sport, and just the fact that, you know, he is just such a polarizing figure in this sport. I mean, it goes to show you, like, the impact he truly makes. I mean, 7 years this guy's been out of pro wrestling. This guy, he called it quits because WWE and Vince McMahon killed his passion for pro wrestling. And now here's AEW, a company that's in its 3rd year as a company, and already they take the ability, Tony Khan had the ability now to bring in CM Punk, of all people, into his company to revive that love for pro wrestling, that passion for professional wrestling. And you looked at CM Punk, the way he was walking down that aisle tonight, the fact that he jumped into the Chicago crowd, was embracing everybody in his arms. You can tell, man, he is the happiest he's probably been in a very, very long time. And you can tell he is having just the ride of his life. And it's just unbelievable, man. And I did not expect them to start the show with this, but I understand why they did it, though. I mean, and a lot of people, this is what people were anticipating tonight. You know, I mean, the match, it's a shame the matches were kind of, you know, they were kind of put in the background tonight, you know, given that the men and women did bust their asses tonight. But of course, we commend them for it. But I think everybody kind of figured going into this show that CM Punk was going to be the main topic of discussion. They knew this was going to be the top thing on this show tonight. And I think that's what AEW really wanted overall. I mean, they of course put matches on the show because it is their 1 hour show. They need to put on matches, of course, and still advanced storylines and all that. But I think AEW and Tony Khan knew going in that CM Punk was going to be that main focus tonight. And I mean, just what a moment, man. It's so hard to really go into full detail about it. All I can really say is history was made tonight. And no true pro wrestling fan will ever forget this moment for as long as they can remember. And I'm just so blessed and so thankful to be a pro wrestling fan. There is no better time to be a pro wrestling fan than right here, right now. CM Punk has literally crashed AEW's shop website. He's crashed Pro Wrestling Tees, but the fact that his first AEW shirt has now been on the market now, and I'm trying to get my hands on one, but I gotta wait it out because CM Punk has already just left such an incredible impact. And Roman Reigns wants to go off in these interviews and say he's not a draw, but I think tonight proved that CM Punk is in fact still a draw even after being out of the game for 7 years. I mean, AEW is already in my eyes, even with Daniel Bryan not being there just yet. AEW is number one in my eyes now. They have changed the tides. The shift has been made, and AEW is on top of the mountain.
Yeah, I tweeted that out because during the Jurassic Express private party match, by the way, after the CM Punk stuff, I really had a hard time paying attention to these matches tonight. But during that match, I tried to go on to AEWshop.com, and on 2 separate occasions, I could not get into the official page because so many people were on the page trying to get CM Punk merchandise. This man, he teased on social media all these teasers all week that he's going to be joining AEW. He put like 3 teasers today. This man with a brink of a rumor that he's going to show up at the United Center for on the AEW Rampage. He sold out the United Center in 1 day with the speculation that CM Punk was going to be All Elite, and that wasn't with a fucking match announced. That he sold out the United Center. I mean, and then did you guys see the lines after CM Punk?
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw shout out to Gamers Goons on Twitter.
Yes.
He was there. It was there. He showed me. He was there. He posted the video on Twitter. That line was
Dude, it freaking wrapped around the arena. The line to get into the concession stands to get CM Punk shirt. That shit was wrapping around the arena. And I can't imagine. I know so many people. I know a decent amount of people that were at the show tonight. I know Gamers Goon was there. Great friend. Shout out to him. I know Jesse from JD from NY show. He was at the show tonight as well. And I just can't imagine how it was being in person and how loud it was being in person. One of Punk's greatest moments, and I think one of my greatest moments as a wrestling fan, was him versus John Cena for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. Do you guys think that tonight was a bigger pop than Money in the Bank 2011? Cameron, I'll start with you.
That's a tough one, but I'm gonna say yeah. I think it was a bigger pop than the one in 2011. I think it was the 2011 pop. The 2011 pop was fucking magical. I think this blew that out the water. Because it was his return. It was his return after 7 long years. So I'm going with Punk. I'm going with the debut tonight.
Wes?
I agree with Cameron. I think Punk's AEW debut tonight was a bigger pop. And just think about how big of a moment it was, too. I mean, CM Punk coming out in front of his hometown of Chicago back in 2011, it was an insane pop, one of the biggest pops in pro wrestling history. But tonight, you could feel how special it really was because the guy has been gone for a very, very long time. He was still one of the most talked about names throughout that entire time period he was away from pro wrestling. People still talked about CM Punk and a potential return. And now it finally culminated here tonight on AEW Rampage at the United Center. Just the specialness of that moment, I think alone overpowers 2011 at Money in the Bank against John Cena, just because you could just feel how important and how special it was through your television screens or whether you were there in person. I mean, you could just feel that in your soul. I mean, like I said, man, chills run through my body. Chills are still running through my body now, even after the show is over and after we have witnessed this amazing moment. It's a moment, again, nobody will forget about. And it's definitely a moment that is going to overpower anything else going on this weekend as far as pro wrestling goes, man. SummerSlam is non-existent, I think, to everybody's eyes in pro wrestling now, and Takeover is somewhat something that people aren't looking at and focusing on anymore, because CM Punk has come back to pro wrestling after 7 years and is with All Elite Wrestling. And I think that's something that everybody's going to be talking about for a very long time, for years to come, and especially this weekend. I don't think anybody else is going to have any interest in anything else going on this weekend.
Oh my God! Listen.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Joseph and Wesley, but I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think Dynamite. I think they're doing like some conference calls. I think they're doing like a conference call, or whatever, like a media scrum. And Sean Ross Sapp, because we got to, because I got a Twitter notifications on for Sean Ross and Fightful. Sean Ross Sapp said, this is from the media call. CM Punk doesn't want to disclose how long his deal with AEW is, but Tony Khan has said that this deal is not a short-term deal or a part-time deal. So it's like we get to CM Punk for the long haul. It's like he's full-time.
That's amazing, man. I think he's probably going to end his career in AEW, and good on him. He wants to end it on his terms. I'm sure he'll be a world champion in the company. Absolutely. When that is, maybe next year. I think maybe by next year, in some point in 2022, we're looking at an MJF CM Punk match for the AEW World Championship, and I think CM Punk is going to be the world champion by next year. Maybe he's a multiple-time world champion, but what I was gonna say is, and Cameron, if you got any more news for CM Punk on the conference call, you're absolutely feel free to share it while we're on the review here. But what I was gonna say is, any thunder WWE had for SummerSlam this tomorrow night, gone, absolutely gone. The only thing really for me to look forward to tomorrow night is John Cena versus Roman Reigns, and outside of that, I mean, what's there to look forward to? I mean, I'm gonna watch the show because I have this show to do, and I want to watch. Bless you. And I want to watch WWE's second biggest show of the year. But legit, after tonight, after CM Punk showing up on the show, who cares? Legit, who cares? SummerSlam, no excitement tomorrow. Takeover, I mean, who's going to tune in to Takeover? I don't know. I don't know. All the attention is on CM Punk and AEW. And
Joseph, you there?
It looks like you went out for me too.